everybody, and welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema. I am your host, the Indian Cine-MANIAC, back with another 10-ish minute review. Before I get to that review, I just want to say something about the last review I did for Sikandar with Salman Khan. You guys were brutal. Look, I've only stopped watching one film in the years that I've been doing this, and that was the sequel to Golmaal Fun Unlimited. I could not get through it. It was awful. But I do try to slog through even when I'm not enjoying it. And Sikandar was a tough film to watch, but I am a big Salman Khan fan. So I'm sorry, you guys were very passionate with your comments. Now, here's my other gripe, okay? And I'll take the hits. I'm okay with that, all right? But there was about 35 comments, and at the last looking, I think there were 4 likes. What is the deal? Look it. You guys have helped me achieve 1,500 subscribers, and I am forever grateful for that. Right now, I'm at about 1,510. But another thing that affects the algorithm is likes, comments, and likes. So here's what I'm going to say to you. Do me this favor. Even though you hated the film, and maybe you didn't even like the review, just like it anyway. It doesn't mean anything to you. It's a big deal to the channel, all right? So click the like. Subscribe too, Hit the notification button. Share it. Okay, I got that out of the way, right? So I'm just going to give you a little heads up because I'm going to actually post this tomorrow. And today, what's the date today? I don't even know what the date is. Hold on one second. The date is the 11th, August 11th. And the reason why I'm letting you know this, I'm going to go see War 2, which is playing in a local theater, actually a little closer than the theater I normally go to, and it is in IMAX. Now, the problem is it's a 10 p.m. show Wednesday night, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to have some caffeine because it's probably going to be a 3-hour film, but I would love to see it in IMAX. And on Thursday, I'm going to go see Cooley at the other theater that I go to with, because I really want to see that too. So I'm going to see both those films. And then I'm going away for a week, but I'm going to try to get these out before I go away. So there'll be a couple of films while I'm on vacation. You know why? Because I'm dedicated to you, my fellow maniacs. Now, the film I am reviewing was recommended by a relatively new maniac. So I wanted to watch it because I I like to do the loyal viewers, but I also like newbies. And this was recommended by Samir KS hyphen KF3 IV. Samir. And the film he recommended was Manji, the Mountain Man, from 2015. It was directed by Ketan Mehta. And the cast, it stars, and let me just say this right up front. This film was, the way I feel about this film was because of Nawazuddin Siddiqui, who I have really come to like. I kind of think of him like Fafa. I really like him as an actor. He's very unique. And I think the first time I saw him was in Gangs of Wasseypur. That's where I think I first saw him. But I've also seen him in Sacred Games, Psycho Ramen, a bunch of other films. But he makes this film. Like, I kind of felt like the film was okay, but he was so good in this film. Also in it, Radhika Apte, who was in Andhadun, which is a movie I really liked. Merry Christmas, also in Sacred Games. And Pankaj Tripathi, who I've seen in a bunch of stuff. Gangs of Wasseypur, Stree, Mirzapur. I think he was in Mimi, which I really liked him because he was funny. He plays the bad guy. Now, first, the thing about this film, it's based on a true event, which when I found that out, I was like, I cannot believe Hollywood has not made this into a film because it's a pretty unbelievable story that sounds right up Hollywood's, right up their alley. And I never heard of this event. And you would have thought something like this that's so unique and frankly so amazing that it would have made its way to the West, but it never did. So let's start with the story. It's actually a very simple story. A man's wife has an accident on a mountain. She trips and dies. And this mountain, I mean, this is the villain, the true villain of the film, because they all have to walk around it or over it, and it's very treacherous. So his quest, once she dies, is to single-handedly build a path through the mountain. And I mean single-handedly with a chisel and a hammer, but not a hammer. You think of a sledgehammer with a big long handle. This is like the handle's probably this long, and he's just chipping away at rocks. And this is a quest that takes. I think I wrote this down too. Uh, okay, 22 years it took him to build this path, and only 4 years after his death did the government actually put in an actual road. But that is the story. Simple. And I'm going to give the story a four. It was a compelling, fascinating, unbelievable story. Like if you gave me the script and told me to read it, I would say, well, no one is going to believe this. It just doesn't seem believable. Then you find out it actually happened. So that's why I'm going to give the story a four. Now, the performances. Oh, wait, I should probably, there's a few things in it that I like to do a little bit. I'm not going to give you the whole thing like I always do because you guys hate that and you don't listen anyway. But it starts off, they show him as a kid and he's lower caste. And that's what this film's, it's about lower caste. It's about the trials and tribulations of being lower caste and how the politicians or the wealthy abuse the lower caste. And so they flash back, low caste Bahari, that's where he's from. This is a very non-linear storytelling too, because they bounce back and forth. Like they show, it starts off 1960 when he starts building this path. Then it goes to 62. Then it goes to 65. Then I think it goes to 72. So it bounces back and forth from flashbacks. Like at one point, you didn't even know it was him, but it was him as a kid who left his village. He comes back, and the first thing that happens is he gets totally beat up by the bad guys. And he comes back to the family, and then it becomes a love story. And I actually love that part of the story because their chemistry was excellent. It was a very believable love story, and that's the other amazing thing that Siddiqui does. He transforms from this idealistic young guy who's in love to this old, determined guy who's just trying to finish this thing. And this film had the Ten Commandments and Forrest Gump. That's what I was thinking of when I'm watching it. And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But that love story, I really enjoyed that love story. Their chemistry was good. She was quite lovely, and it was a very innocent thing. Um, and that was part of the film. So again, they're bouncing back and forth. So you didn't know she had died when he started doing this, but eventually you find out. And Tripathi plays a bad guy. And that was the one area. Now I do also have to say this, Samir. I had to watch this on YouTube, and I had to use the auto translate. And I will tell you that it was not translating it right because there was words I know are not the words that people were saying. Now, I will also say that this particular film wasn't dialogue heavy. So I don't think it hurt my experience as much as maybe another film would, because you could pretty much figure out what was going on. But there were things in it that I was confused about. Like the bad guys, their motivation. Yes, they wanted money, and the government, they tricked him into getting government subsidies to help him with his road and for the village, and they ended up taking it all. I got that, but I still didn't really understand why they were so why were they were so bad. Was it just that they just wanted to take over? They just wanted to keep people in their place. That I couldn't figure out, and that was probably something that would have come out in the dialogue. So I was at a disadvantage on that, and I couldn't find it anywhere with English subtitles other than that. So, Samir, I'm sorry about that. It was also a relatively short movie, and I'm wondering, because this happened with another movie that I just watched, that it was a little over 2 hours, but it does seem like the cuts were a little jumpy, like maybe something, there were scenes that were missing. And that could be because I also know on YouTube there's like five different versions and the times aren't quite exactly the same. Now, it didn't seem like that when I watched it, but I have to believe maybe there was some stuff that they cut out of the version that I saw. Um, oh, and then there's a scene, and this is when he's building this thing, and he's got two kids, but someone else is taking care of them while he's doing this. But at one point, he gets bit by a cobra, and and that was a pretty startling scene because cobras are in a lot of these films, and it bit him, and he ends up cutting off his toe. Now, I haven't researched it, but I want to find out if that really happened to the guy, because then it goes to this like fantasy scene where his dead wife, they're kind of dropping into this big well. And there was a lot of that too. He imagines her still alive because I'm sure that being out in the sun and no water and food, he was hallucinating. So they were playing that angle up too. Um, but it was just so interesting. And then at the end, the village gets behind him and helps him finish this road. And that was his quest to finish the road for his wife, and he was determined to do it. So it's about perseverance. It's about one man against the odds and the elements. Now, as far as the performances go, look, I think everyone was good in it, but the film is all about Siddiqui, okay? And the film would not have worked. I was trying to think of another actor who could have done this, and I thought maybe Fafa could have done it, but he was perfect for this. And the transformation he goes through, his emotions, his talking to the mountain. At first, I thought he was talking to God, but he wasn't. I think he was talking to the mountain. And it was a little bit of Castaway too with Tom Hanks. He's by himself for a big chunk of the film, um, but he carries it. And there were scenes in the film that were like a little confusing, but putting that aside, his performance was so good in this, and it's the reason why you'd want to watch this film, and it's worth it to watch the film for his performance in it. And I give the performance a 5. He was incredible in this film. I'm telling you, I'm really liking him as an actor more and more and more every time I see him in something. Now, the music. There was a lot of music, but I want to be really clear on this. It's not Bollywood music. It's not we're going to break out into this number and do a dance number. I'm not against those, but it would not. I don't think it would have really worked in this film. It's more incidental music than anything else. But the first song is, they start talking about a new government proposal that everyone is equal. So there's a song about that. Then there's a second song, and this was a very more erotic than most of the Indian films I've seen. There's a chase scene where him and his future bride have to hide because she was going to marry somebody else. He takes her from the wedding because she loves him, and they run away. And there's a big mob after them. Well, they end up hiding in mud, like literally. You see the mud. All of a sudden, their faces come up. Well, then there's this song where they're covered in mud and they're washing the mud off each other very seductively. Mud's never looked so sexy as in this number. And then they're, it's very erotic. Nothing, I mean, it was a love scene, but, Indian movies, they were just rubbing each other and water. But it was very well done. So that was the second song. Third song is Fajunia, which is her name. And that's a song that they play a couple of times throughout the film. The fourth song is how he's working while he's raising his two kids, boy and a girl, without their mother who died. Another song is a flashback. It's Fajunia again, flashback to him in his wife's relationship. Now the sixth song, this is the Forrest Gump thing. He's going to head to Delhi to talk to Mahatma Gandhi about what happened with the money. And it's his quest to get to Delhi. So there's a song. He ends up at the gates, but they won't let him in. Now, he had a picture in the newspaper of him and her that he tried to use to get him in, but it didn't happen. That's when he comes back, and all the villagers are there helping him build this road. Because he was a man on a quest. And that was the music. The music was fine. I gave the music a 3. Didn't hurt it, didn't help it. Overall, I give this movie a 4. It wasn't I can't say it was a great movie. I can say I loved the story and I loved his performance in it. I thought he was just great. I know I keep repeating myself, but that's the way it goes. So that's what I think. That's what I think about that film. So that was a good call on that one. Thank you for that, Samir. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I got a movie for you. All right. And it's talk about a completely different film. Okay, so now it's time for John's recommendation. Okay, so here's the film. Now, again, this is nothing like this film. It's a comedy. But I will tell you, I have always been a big fan of Val Kilmer. In fact, I did one of his films not too long ago, Top Secret. But there's another film. So I was at the beach today, and this one song came on. That's a song from this particular film, and it made me think about this film and Val Kilmer's performance in it. Now, when you think of Val Kilmer as an actor, his probably most iconic role was Doc Holliday in Tombstone. But it's not my favorite role that he did. My favorite role that he did was from a film from 1985 called Real Genius. This is a film. It was directed by Martha Coolidge, who directed Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It stars Val Kilmer. Who's the kid in it? Oh God, they don't even list him because he hasn't done anything since. They don't even list his name. Okay, Gabriel Jarrett played the boy. Ed Lauder. Um, William Atherton, who's great in this. So the film is based on MIT and another one. And I don't know what school it was in California, but where geniuses go to college. And it's these super, super smart people. And the stories are all based on these stories from these colleges. And Val Kilmer plays a genius, Michael Knight, who who's just funny. He's anti-authority. And actually, the scene, his introduction, is when he first meets Mitch. He gets Mitch to room with him because Mitch is I think he's 14, a 14-year-old genius. And Michael Knight wants to room with him. So there's that opening scene. But the scene that really introduces Michael Knight, he's got a job. He gets a job interview at a big tech firm, And that's where you first are introduced to Val Kilmer as Michael Knight. And he's got the antennas on his head. He's got slippers on his shoes. And it's just funny dialogue. He's so funny in this. In the movie, he's got a lot of heart to it. It's very funny. It's very 80s.
We just designed our brand new telecom satellite.
But if you want a good laugh with a little heart,
Isn't that the satellite
you know what?
raining debris all
and
over
I
Europe?
dare not say this,
Why is
but I
that
will.
toy on your head?
It almost has a little
Because
Three
if I
Idiots
wear it
vibe
anywhere else, it chafes.
without the real big tonal shifts. But it does pack a little emotional punch in some of the scenes. But it's just very funny, and his character is really funny in the film. And the cast is really good, and they really play well off each other. So if you get a chance and you want to laugh and you want to go back to the 80s, check out Real Genius Val Kilmer. Okay? All right, so that's it. Listen, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the notification button, hit the like button. As always, please share. And for the love of God, please like. Even if you don't, please like it. It helps the channel. Okay, that's it. We'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with either a 10ish minute review or a trailer reaction. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.